This radio program is PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13.
The following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, Phoenix. Brother Mike is back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Today's Bible study, Moors, Michigan Minions. Oh, this is a nasty one, folks. Call somebody and tell them the radio program's on. This is going to be a story you ain't going to believe. But it actually happened. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center. We're downtown on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. And we are in the red brick building. Please remember our ministry services on HardcoreChristianity.com. Of course, I have my Sunday morning podcast at 9 o'clock. We have a beautiful worship service Sundays at 3 o'clock with communion. We have teaching and healing and deliverance services every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday evening. And the PayPal button, of course, is on the website. Thanks for keeping us on the air for almost 25 years. May God bless you. And please remember our healing service that's coming up once a month. You got to get to this healing service. You'll see people getting healed, and you'll hear their testimonies. Oh, wow. Did you hear about this one? Sharon Moore, the head coach of one of the most prestigious university football programs in the entire country, Michigan, the University of Michigan. I'm kind of partial to them because my grandfather got his PhD at the University of Michigan. But this thing's been horrible. Do you remember a few years ago, I did a radio program on Steve McNair? Do you happen to remember that? They called him Air McNair because he was an incredibly talented quarterback and was a great passer, and he led the Tennessee Titans to the Super Bowl. Do you remember that? Well, you know, he was murdered by one of his girlfriends. He was married, had a bunch of kids. He used drugs, alcohol, and his girlfriend got mad at him because he was sleeping with another woman, in addition to his wife, of course, and she murdered him and then killed herself. Do you remember that story? But the worst part about the whole story was that Steve McNair was a devout, vocal Christian and a follower of Christ who was very public with his faith, but he led a secret life. And it turned out that he was massively infected with demons while going to church and proclaiming Christ as a Savior and living a outwardly very powerful Christian life. Well, it's happened again in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The football coach there, Sharon Moore, a devout, outspoken, public Christian, was arrested here a few days ago for having an affair. Of course, like McNair, he's married with, I think, 3 kids. And he had been going to OnlyFans on the porn app, and he had been living a secret life the entire time he was a Christian. For example, clear back in 2010, this guy got fired from another football coaching job because he was having an affair with one of the administrators in the football program. And then he comes to Michigan and he does the same thing. Absolutely amazing. And he had been having a long-term affair with a woman who worked for the football program there. And after he had gotten promoted to head coach, after his coach had left for the San Diego, now Los Angeles Chargers, he was promoted to the head coach of the program. And he had a winning record for a couple of years. And he, did a fairly good job. But There had been rumors about him having affairs all over the place, and the University of Michigan knew about it and then claimed they had investigated him twice and weren't able to substantiate the rumors. Oh boy. Well, his current girlfriend, he gave her a massive raise after he got promoted to head coach, and they'd been having a long-term affair. Again, remember, he like McNair, Moore was a vocal public Christian, went to church regularly with his wife and kids, no problemo. Wow. His girlfriend decided to break up with him, and this triggered his demons. Remember, Moore, like McNair, was absolutely loaded with demons because the churches they attended believed the lie that Christians can't have demons. That is a satanic doctrine and is 100% false, and you see the fallout of it. I've proved, without any question or doubt, over many years, well, almost 25 actually, that Christians can have demons. There is no question about it, and there is no verse in the Bible that contradicts that. There's no verse in the Bible that says Christians cannot have demons. Well, what happened was they broke up. She left him, and he lost his ever-loving mind. But what technically was happening was the demons hiding in his body, the lust demons that had caused him to have so many affairs over the years, started manifesting. He went over to the girl's house and forced his way into the condo. And they had a horrible fight. And the coach was threatening to kill himself. He went into the kitchen, grabbed a butter knife and a pair of scissors, and was threatening to kill himself in front of her if she did not recant her statements about them breaking up and her not wanting to see him anymore. This caused a huge problem in the condo, and the embarrassment, as you can imagine, to the University of Michigan, who already knew he was a philanderer. The fact that he was having an affair with this assistant was not a secret at Michigan. Everybody basically kind of knew it. And that they had been together for years. Literally for years. The cops arrested him for threatening to attack her and kill himself. And they got a hold of his cell phone, and he had sent hundreds of text messages to her, dozens and dozens of calls trying to get her to pick up and answer. And because of his harassment, she went to the University of Michigan administration and confessed the affair. Originally, when they investigated it a year or so ago, she had said that there was nothing going on. And so did he. They both lied. Now, I don't know if this girl is a public confessing Christian like Coach Moore, but it doesn't matter. They both lied to the university and said nothing was happening. And in court, the embarrassment was absolutely staggering. The prosecutor detailed some of the nitty-gritty scandal moments of their relationship. And Michigan, when they fired him, he lost, I believe, a $20 or $30 million coaching contract. He was getting somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 to $6 million a year just in salary without benefits or bonuses. While he was at her apartment, freaking out, threatening to kill himself, threatening her with a butter knife, believe it or not, she called the cops. They came to the apartment, obviously, and arrested him. They only gave him a $25,000 bond, which he easily met. The judge said that he was not allowed to have any contact with women. He was to wear an ankle monitor, and he was never to go back to her residence, obviously. Moore's defense attorney said nothing about the incident, so I'm picking up where they should have. What really happened here? People said, well, this guy did this and that. No, he didn't. This was a situation where Christians have demons, and they don't know they have them. So the spirits deliberately trigger them with trauma, and the demons start manifesting. Have you ever heard the term panic attack? That is a condition where a person is triggered by environmental stimuli, and the demons inside their body start manifesting, and they have cramps in their stomach, tightness in their chest, they're having difficulty breathing, shortness of breath. This is what it is. These are demons manifesting in the person's body and creating a traumatic event. This is how it works. People like McNair and Moore have these lust demons in their body, and they manifest and trigger sexual desires by hyperventilating their sexual needs. And they manifest these horrible spirits and this terrible lust, which causes them to lie, cheat, steal, kill, murder, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. These demons will do anything and everything to destroy your lives. If you have lust demons, you may not have gone as far as McNair and Moore, but if you have lust demons, 602-636-5800. I see people delivered from this condition all the time. Lust demons are behind the horrible mental illness of transgenderism, transvestitism. They are behind serial adulterers and players. They are behind the sin of lust, adultery, homosexuality, transgenderism, lesbianism. These demons, hiding in their bodies, trigger lustful events in their soul, and they cannot contain themselves. They also affect the physical body, giving it a sexual addiction or a porn addiction. You can be healed. I've seen it with my own eyes. 602-636-5800. Send me an email, mike@hardcorechristianity.com. There's no reason for you to suffer anymore. The Lord Jesus is ready to save you. See you next time.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.